Hi, my name is Stevie Tompkins, and I am one of the counselors with Georgia Cyber Academy. Thank you so much for joining the 4C Cafe today. We are going to be discussing test-taking strategies and ways to reduce your test anxiety. Okay, so today we're going to be using a test-taking skills assessment. This gives us a baseline of where we are at and what we need to be working on. If you want to go ahead and get out a piece of paper and a pen, you can go ahead and make a little chart off on the piece of paper that looks kind of like the chart on the side, on the right-hand side of this, that says always 1, sometimes 2, and never 3. And you're going to want to go ahead and answer these questions. So, for example, number 1 says, I have headaches or nausea before I test. If you always have headaches and nausea, you put 1, sometimes 2, never 3. So go ahead and pause this, and that will give you enough time to complete all of these questions. Okay, moving on to the second part of the assessment, you're going to do the same thing, create a little chart on your piece of paper that looks like the chart on the right-hand side, except for this time they flip-flop the answer. So it's going to say number 1 is never, number 2 is sometimes, and number 3 is always. Okay, so then you're going to start with question number 11. As soon as I learn I'm going to have a test, I begin preparing. So you would answer never, sometimes, or always. So go ahead and pause this screen now, and so it gives you enough time to answer all the questions. Okay, so let's see how you did. All you're going to do is add up your answers, and it will give you a point value. So 1 to 17, if you fell into that category, it is the needs improvement category. So you may get very nervous when taking tests, and you may not be able to take the time to prepare as much as you can in order to do well on the test. So there's definitely some need for improvement. If you score between the 18 to 34 point, you're doing good, but there could be some things you could be doing a little bit better. And if you scored 35 through 51 points, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job with too much anxiety, but there's always a few things that we could probably work on. All right, so let's move on to some of those test-taking tips. So here are just a few tips that I know have helped me in the past. I think they've helped other students as well, and I hope they might help you too. So the first is studying. This may seem like a pretty easy answer to give you, but are you just studying the night before, or are you taking the time to maybe study right when you find out you have the data, right when you find the date of the test? So are you studying, a little bit each night because you know you have a test at the end of the week? That's really what's going to benefit you in the long run. Also arriving early. So we are a virtual school, so this would mean things like logging into your computer maybe a little bit earlier than you normally do on test-taking days, just so you're not worried that you're going to have an internet issue or it's going to take you a little bit longer to log in. Or also something like for the EOC, you want to make sure that your learning coach or your parent gets you to the EOC with plenty of time in case you hit traffic or anything like that. Listening attentively to the instructor. So you do not want to miss any last minute instructions. So even though we've taken tests a zillion times, listening to those directions each time we're given a test, and also reading those directions carefully. Make sure you understand what the question is asking you. Plan your allotted time. How long do you anticipate spending on each question? Start with an easy section to build your confidence. So start on those sections you know that you might know the answer to, and that's going to kind of boost your confidence, and then that will help you plan your time a little bit better as well. Okay, I find this so very important, staying positive. Don't run into raise your anxiety, especially if they're at the beginning of the test. Get those, come back to them later. There may be something else in the test that's going to spark your memory so that you can answer those effectively. Don't worry if you see a pattern also. If you answered the last 3 were A, don't think, oh, well, the next one's not going to be A. Just go with your gut. And that's going to lead us into the next one. Rely on your first impression, the answer that comes to your mind first. That's probably the right answer. Negative words or prefixes will complicate questions. So that goes back to reading those directions very carefully. Make sure you understand what the question is asking you. And then plan to finish early so that you have time to review. This way you can return to those difficult questions that may have stumped you. You can proofread any essays, and you just have that time just to kind of review everything before you turn it in. Okay, so going back here, it's very important to find a good place to study. I know sometimes maybe the kitchen table when you come in, putting all your stuff down, and that can sometimes be the easiest place to open up and do your homework. But sometimes, that's a place people are in and out of all the time. So maybe finding a quiet place, either in your room, if you have an office area, or in a dining room where you have a lot of space to lay out all of the homework, your computer, everything like that, and just having that good study place that's free of distractions, free of interruptions. That's very key when you are studying and doing your homework. Also, pick that best time of day to study. So if you learn best in the morning, or you're most alert in the morning, use that morning time. If you're more of a night person, use that night time, but figure out what is the best for you and use that. Also, stick to a routine. So maybe, I know you've probably got homework each day of the week, but maybe you set 30 minutes aside and say, hey, I'm going to study from 8 to 8:30 every night, and I'm just going to review anything that I have upcoming, any tests that I have upcoming. I'm just going to do a little review on that so that you don't have so much to review on the day before the test. Okay, and last, here are some ways to reduce anxiety. Test anxiety can be difficult to deal with, and it's hard to find things that will help you through that anxiety. So things such as getting enough sleep the night before and the week before, thinking positive, making sure that you have those positive thoughts in your head, eating right, creating a vision board. What do you foresee? Do you foresee yourself doing well? Do you want to get at least an 85 or above, whatever that vision is that you see? Making sure you're breathing, making sure that you're planning ahead, and then visualize yourself doing well. Don't think that, oh, I got stumped on a lot of those questions, that you're not going to do well. And then also relaxing. If you've got extra time at the end, which we hope you do before the day of your test, do something that you enjoy doing to get your nerves, calmed down and to relax yourself. So I hope that these test-taking tips, I hope the assessment helped you get an idea of what you need to work on and what you are doing well at. But then I hope that this also gave you some ideas of how you could improve and how you could reduce that test anxiety as well. Thanks so much for attending the 4C Cafe, and please don't forget to complete the survey below. Thanks so much.